Well, that's me. I've just got to work. I'm Michael O'Brien. I'm a traditional bookbinder. I'm in a Victorian precinct in Oamaru, New Zealand, but would you believe it? I'm dressed like a Jacobite Highlander. Doesn't make much sense, does it? But it does to me. In this shop, I do a number of things to make a meagre living, and one of those things is that I make new books. So these books here, which are for sale to the public and very popular in Germany, represent a lot of different sorts of people's taste, but for me, traditional binding. So for example, this here is called a Morris book. It has exposed structure, it's hand sewn on Irish linen cords, pieces of leather with Sanderson printed Morris paper. This is William Morris, the Victorian designer, covered over the covers. And here, this is a recycled paper book, so it's blank, of course, for you to record your travel experiences in. If you wanted to be really irritated, you could have a medieval German binding. This is a medieval 15th century German binding, complete with bronze clasps and end bands and so on. A mere $720. Good for the hand luggage. So I do all sorts of different things. This is a 17th century English Cambridge binding. That's new. I've made that. Again, it's a blank book. It's based on an original. That is original. That's a board of 1645. Now these were being thrown away from the bookbindery I worked in London, which is a crime. So really this is the only thing that's a pure imitation. But the point is that this book that these boards came from lasted 300 years until it needed to be rebound. I've used acid-free materials, so in theory this will last 300 years until this needs to be rebound. Have a look at the workshop. This is how the books are sewn. This is a sewing frame. And you can see there, these books are in the process of being sewn. This is my mother's bench. This is the Irish linen and the needle. And that's how it's done. It's just done by hand. Everything here is pretty much done like that. First of all, we take a bone folder, one of these, and with that bone folder we tear the sheets of paper down into sections. The other thing that I do is restoration. If you look at my bench, this is a fairly typical restoration that I've got on the go here. I've cut out new leather which will go underneath those corners. That'll go underneath there. It's very delicate, as you can see. That's the original spine. I'll keep that, and that'll all go back there. This is in the beginning stages of the restoration. I've got a finished one here. I'll show people. A good example. This is a Victorian leather binding around about 1880s, which is the same as that. And between my thumbs is the new leather. So that's a nice job because it's nice and smooth. That's the original spine, nice and smooth. The corners have also been replaced just like I have to do on this one. The bookbindery here is, well, I set it up. I've been here since 1994 from Auckland. I moved from Auckland to this town of Oamaru in the South Island for reasons of community. So when you come here, I spend quite a lot of time speaking about not just me, but about other crafts and the possibility of other crafts people living and working in this beautiful environment with the same objective, which is really one of beauty and craft and a bit of fun and levity. We have a lot of laughs, a lot of silliness, but really what I'm seeking is community. So I'll be exhorting you all to take up a craft and move to Oamaru, because I know that there'll be some glass blowers and knife makers and cobblers, for example, shoemakers. The list goes on. There are about 200 different crafts that I've identified that would love to be here, but we've got a problem with immigration, haven't we? So what I'm talking about really is, talked about a lot on internet, transition towns. You can look that up. I'm talking about peak oil, sustainability issues. I try as I can to live fairly holistically. I'm a hypocrite, of course, because I have a car and I don't always walk. But for example, I made my shirt, and I can buy my waistcoats from the person down the road who makes waistcoats and makes trousers and things like that. So that's a small reflection of that. But I would like to have a knife maker, I would like to have a leather tanner, I would like to have a vellum or parchment maker, the list, a paper maker, a handcraft printer, the list goes on and on. This is what some of us here in Oamaru are trying to do. It's not that we're just here to make money from tourists, we're actually here for our own benefit, to have fun, of course, but I suppose to live in a gentler way, which is a good thing for the future. So I think you've got quite a bit of information there. Oh, and if you're feeling generous, I quite like spiritual donations. Malt whiskey goes down very well, and I'll be generous and pour you a little tipple. Thank you very much.
It's cool.
Was that helpful?
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably quite a lot of nonsense, but
It's cool. It's 7 minutes.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is send that.
to Germany.
I'm going to send that to Wellington, because he's dealing direct. He's the intermediate. He's the one that
That's good.